Today's episode is a two-parter. We'll be hearing from Hannabelle Mendez and Nunez, who have both experienced our Teacher Ed Master's degree program. Listen and learn as they both share the passion behind their purpose and what keeps them motivated as it pertains to working in education. First off, we have Hannabelle. Hannabelle, you can just start off by introducing yourself and letting us know how you heard about our program.
Okay, so my name is Hannabelle Mendez, and I work in a public school in Manhattan. My experience during this program so far has been absolutely positive. It's pretty interesting, actually, because I was in a graduate program at another school, and it just wasn't working out. It was a really stressful time, and I felt hopeless. But a friend actually recommended this site program to me, and right away, I inquired about it and received an email right away with instructions on how to fill out an application and what documents I needed. So I actually got my acceptance letter a day after submitting everything. And I still remember to this day how good I felt about the whole process and how happy I was to get in it. There are so many good things that I can say about this program. The professors that I've had so far are amazing. They care about us, they're hilarious, and I feel like they give me an actual real education. You know, it's unfortunate right now because of the pandemic that we have to be remote, but I feel like the professors allow the class to come alive and make us feel like, we're not just on a computer all day, every week. So also, I don't know if I could do this without my cohort because I feel like we've become a family and we talk to each other daily. We look out for one another, and I feel like it's a really safe space. Um, I decided to get my master's because I wanted to further my education in special education. I believe that every child deserves the best instruction catered to them and differentiated to their exact needs. And teaching has always been my passion. I feel like I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher, and it gives me such joy seeing children fall in love with learning. And I think learning should be fun and effective. Have a great day. Stay safe.
Alrighty, you too. Stay safe and have a great rest of your week. Thanks, Hannabelle. And now we'll be hearing from Nunez, who goes in depth about her inspiration behind working in education. Catherine, let's start off by introducing yourself and letting us know how you heard about our program.
So my name is Nunez, but you may call me Kathy. It's easier. I work for the New York City Department of Education. I am a school secretary. I just started my 31st year as a school secretary. Thinking about retirement somewhere in a few years down the road from here, but not right now. I work from home. I am a payroll secretary, so I work from home. Everything I have to do, I'm able to do it off of my computer, which is nice. I also have been calling many students and their families to find out how things are at their homes and what's going on and how can we help and why did you miss this day or why did you miss that day? Because attendance is a big deal at this point, especially. We're not reaching all of our students, but we're trying to reach as many of our students as we can. I got into this program because my older son, Eddie, when he was 12, he was hit by a car, and then he became mentally and physically disabled and therefore very challenged. Throughout his whole time with the New York City Department school system, he was not treated very well. He was a special education student at this point. And what I thought his needs should have been met weren't and were. I had to fight tooth and nail for him to get his needs met. And I finally enlisted the help of State Senator Frank Patterson, who helped me as well. Anyway, he graduated with a regular diploma, thanks mostly to my mother, because he passed all of his RCTs. The New York City Department of Education typically does not share information about how you can help your child move on and go forward and help them. So I share information. When I find information, I will share it with someone else who will benefit from this information. I buried my son 2 years ago. He passed away while he was in a nursing home. And at that point, I had gotten my associate's degree and my bachelor's degree. And I made it my goal is, and actually I could say that my life's mission is at this point is because the reason for me to get this master's degree in special education is to continue advocating for the many students who no one is advocating for, and to continue on advocating for children like I did for my own son, Eddie. He benefited greatly only because I pushed the whole situation for him. It was an exhausting, long, arduous process, but I did it because he's my son, of course. And this is my plan to do this and help other students along the way. However, only on a part-time basis. When I retired from the New York City Department of Education as a full-time person, I'm done working full-time, I'm done. But I'll be very happy to do this on a part-time basis, to be a teacher with a master's degree in special education to help students, and with a little twist on it to help their families and connect them with the resources that are needed to help them, help the families, and help the child as well. So that's my main goal at this point.
I love the passion behind your purpose. This is really a way for you to honor your son and help others along the way. Being that you've touched on the topic of working from home, how has that transition been for you as a person in the education system?
Well, I have what's called a medical accommodation. I recently had surgery in July. I also have slight asthma, so I got this signed off by my surgeon, and the Department of Education approved this. So this is approved and done until the end of June, when my school term ends anyway. So I've been working from home since March. So it's almost a year at this point, which I'm okay with this. You do get a sense of isolation when you're working from home. So I appreciate these Zoom meetings with someone like you, of course, which is nice, because it tells me that human beings are still around us, we're not totally alone. So that's kind of my story.
Yeah. And I thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate the emotion behind it, and it's so encouraging and important for people to hear. And moving forward, what is one thing that you would say to somebody who's considering going into education and wants to be a career changer?
I was taught by my parents that education is the key, and we were taught this from when we were very young. There was not even a thought about dropping out of school, at least until your high school diploma. There was not even a discussion. There was not even on the table. My mother went back to college. She went back to Queens College for free, and she got her teaching certificate. And then she decided that she wanted to become a school secretary, and she's the one who gave me the idea to become a school secretary. My father went to Temple University in Pennsylvania. He did not finish because he did not have the money to finish, but that was okay. But the philosophy in my house when we were young was, let me try to remember.
Take your time.
Reading is education. Education is knowledge, and knowledge is power. So the more knowledge you have, the more powerful you become, because no one can rob you of this information. No one can take your education away from you. It's something that I worked very hard. I've worked very hard for this. I paid out of pocket for this. I've worked very hard for this. Not everyone is for college. That's fine. That's wonderful. But I might suggest to someone who might be struggling with what to do, to take maybe a few classes in education, basic classes maybe, like start out with English or like a psychology course. I thoroughly enjoy my psychology course. And to start out basically there. If you don't want to continue with that, that's fine. That's fine. But to at least have like a sense of information of what education can offer to someone, to anyone.
Absolutely. I love that. That is really, really what it's all about. And I love that quote that you grew up on.
I said, well, my parents told me that. And actually, with the Department of Education, when we sign our name, we are on an email, we all have a little saying underneath their name, and that's what I put. And a few people have said, "Well, where'd you get that from?" I got that from my parents.
That's
And that's
beautiful.
a whole main thing in life. Education is knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you have, and it doesn't mean you have to go to college to become knowledgeable. Like I have a lot of street sense and common sense, which got me through up until this point at 63. It was my common sense that carried me with my son. And at that point, I didn't even have an associate's degree, but I knew that the system was wrong and it was not helping him. And I knew what my gut told me that I have to do something else. And just I followed my common sense.
That's right. I love that. That is really, a passion as well.
It really is.
A whole passion. And I love this story. Honestly, I think this is really more than enough to compile a video. So I'm so glad that we got the chance to chat. And I'm going to send you the page, of course, so you can get the chance to see it and follow us. All right. So I'm so glad that we got the chance to.
Thank you again. I'm so sorry about trying to get.
No worries at all. No worries at all. It would have been nothing to make a Zoom meeting for tomorrow anyway. So, but I'm glad that we got this to work. All right.
I really am. It was so nice to meet you.
Me too. I'm so glad.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You do the same. All right, and stay safe.
Okay.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Be good. Bye. I want to extend a special thank you to Hannabelle Mendez and Catherine Nunez for this amazing episode. And for more information on our podcast, please be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cite Programs. That's CITEPROGRAMS. Till next time. Bye.